Shobhaa, thank you so much for joining us. It's such a sad day, isn't it? A young man, Sidharth Shukla, dying only at the age of 40. Your first thoughts?
My first thoughts are that it's an impossibly high-stress profession. Some of these young people are simply not prepared emotionally or psychologically. From being small-time someones in their own little environment, they are propelled into a world they're not at all ready to accept for what it is, which is high stress, which is competitive, it's cutthroat. I mean, if they refuse a role or a job, there'll be 50 other people willing to step into their shoes. Then comes the pressure of living in a city like Mumbai, the competition, the lifestyle issues. They have to be one up on the next person. They have to be performing absolutely at their prime every single time they're on camera. All of it is taking a toll, which some of them can cope with it, some of them can't.
Yeah.
But the whole cardiac issue is something that's affecting young people, not just actors. It's sports people. Actually, it's anybody, any young person, including techies, who are in that kind of a profession, which demands high performance, 100%, 24/7.
Yeah. I was just doing some research to see how many have been affected because who've lost their lives young, I should say.
Yeah.
Sidharth Shukla has died now. Aarti Agarwal, the actor, was 31. Abir Goswami, 37. Inder Kumar, 44. Amit Mistry, 47. Vivek Shauk, 47. Raj Kaushal, 49. Sushant Singh Rajput, of course, was very young as well, but his was a different sort of case. But, the point that you're making of these stars, celebrities, actors, directors, dying early, it's shocking, absolutely. Just what I read out to you. In fact, that's not all, there are more.
But the thing is that a person like him, talented, popular, well-liked, gregarious, as all his friends are saying, all his co-actors are heaping praise on the young man. So at the moment, we don't know of any other sort of backstory that could have led to such levels of stress. But just being in that big house, a big boss house, is pressure enough, according to me, because the expectations from the audience, those expectations are unrealistic. You're made to perform. Maybe you're supposed to be yourself, but you cannot be yourself. Every moment of your life is out there. Then there is the larger-than-life figure of Salman Khan. There's all the money that's riding on it. If you emerge a winner, which he was, you win something like this, it takes you to the next level and the next and the next. And where does it all stop? So that, I feel, that in all the reality shows are placing a kind of terrible, terrible pressure on young people to go out there, to compete, to perform, to prove themselves to their families, to their friends, to their colleagues. And something gives somewhere. So I would strongly recommend most of these production houses should have, especially for these reality shows, psychotherapists, psychologists, mental health experts who can guide these young people through the trauma and the tribulations and also the great highs that one achieves when in such a high-profile kind of a job. They need that counseling. Without that counseling, many more are going to break, and that would be really a huge tragedy, losing talent, young talent at such a young age.
Yeah, Shobhaa, one of the thoughts which struck me is that I hope that this doesn't end up being, given the nature of the media in our country, another Sushant Singh Rajput sort of story, because there are already backstories, already all sorts of theories. Was it a heart attack or something else? It's important for there to be clarity. I think a post-mortem is important, and I think it's important for people to be restrained, because this has gone viral everywhere, the news of his death,
yes,
across every media.
It's inevitable. I mean, the kind of scrutiny all these young actors live under, it's something that some of them can absorb, can take in their stride, others cannot. The stories are going to be flying around. In Sushant Singh's case, it was completely different because there was a morbidity attached to it. It was a young chap, a young man who allegedly had taken his own life, and there was all the other angles of whether drugs were involved. There was a girlfriend who had walked out on him. It was a different story. It lent itself to a lot of speculation and a lot of salacious kind of gossip in the entertainment world. I don't know enough about his backstory. The young man who's died today, Sidharth Shukla. So I don't know. I hate to speculate. And we can sit on a high horse and advise our other media colleagues not to jump to conclusions, but we know that's not going to happen. Yeah. Today, everybody with a phone and with an opinion is out there expressing it. And social media, being the beast that it is, it's almost unavoidable that his death is also going to lead to a torrent of all manner of theories as to what happened.
You know, this was a very talented young actor. He was best known for Balika Vadhu and Big Boss 13, but he was very active on social media, very popular on social media. His last, I think, 2 tweets were congratulating Paralympians on gold medal performances for India. He appeared to be a socially conscious person.
Yes.
And, you know, there just seems to be so much goodwill for him today.
Well, despite it all, I mean, look at what's happened. Maybe it was something completely he was unaware of, which also leads me to my next point, that a lot of young people have been neglecting their health. A lot of people, young people who want to present themselves in a certain way on these platforms, in movies, on their various shows, there's a tremendous pressure to look a certain way. For that, they alter their body types, they mess around with their physiques, they have going for fad diets, they work sometimes terribly long hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. They're going from sort of one show to the next without a break. There's no pause in their life. There's no reflection. And that is bound to manifest itself in stress which they're not even aware of. Because on the surface, they're healthy, they're fit, they're fine, they're running, they're gymming, they're on that set, they're doing just great. But then there is the darker other side, which they often neglect. And this is a wake-up call, I'd say, for a lot of young actors, a lot of young sportsmen, a lot of high-profile people out there, that it's just not worth it. It's not worth your life, no matter what kind of success you're seeing.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. Shobhaa, thank you so much for speaking to us, sharing your thoughts. Thank you so much indeed.